apparently, people are now mad at Ludwig. Now, for this one, I got no idea what's going on. This is a new issue to me, but More Pegas has made a video, so you know I'm going to watch it. Yeah, let's get into it. Are people now waking up to Ludwig's issues? Let's see.
We got a lot of drama updates today. Idubbbz is in massive trouble right now. He just got exposed for taking...
Oh yeah, so all this money that people were donating to Creator Clash 3, Creator Clash 2 and 1, that people thought were going to charity, 34% of it was going directly to Ian and Anissa, which was never fucking disclosed, which, by the way, how is that not fucking criminal? Because I promise you, when people think they're donating directly to charity and 34% of that is going to 2 people, hey, brother, that smells like a lawsuit, dude.
34% of the profits of a supposed charity event and misleading people who were buying the tickets. Ludwig...
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot tell you how many times I spend money just because it's charity. It was never disclosed that, well, the CEOs are taking that to buy a 3rd yacht. Well, if I knew that, I wouldn't have fucking spent that shit on charity. When I give money to charity, just like when we all give money to charity, we assume it's going directly to that cause and not lining some billionaire's pockets. Absolutely not.
Responded somehow defending Idubbbz. Kind of expected from Hassan's best buddy, who literally quit his commentary channel just so he doesn't have to criticize Hassan. Asmongold responded to the situation. Ethan responded along with Harley, one of the fighters. In other news, artist BB No Money recorded a music video with Asmongold and decided to censor him out of the video, citing
the dumbest shit ever, especially considering that Baby No Money had Asmongold's face on his chest literally like 4 months ago, saying he was his favorite streamer. And all this shit that Baby No Money is holding against Asmongold has already come out after the fact. And let's be real, everything bad that Asmongold has said, he's already said, yeah, I don't know why I said that. I apologize. I didn't mean it. And going forward, I want to atone for that. Yet we're going to hold that against him like a year fucking later, especially because Asmongold is a busy fucking guy. He got out of the house and he helped you record that entire fucking music video. And to go back on this guy who helped you out, because I'm going to be real, Baby No Money, Asmongold is way bigger than you, bro. And I'm going to just keep it 100%. Bro was in the top 10 search terms in YouTube history just a couple of weeks ago. And to go back on this guy who went out to help you out, that's fucking crazy. I was invited to the same music video, and I declined that shit, and I'm glad I did. Otherwise, there would have been 2 censored faces in that fucking video. This shit's a joke.
His beliefs. Now, people are pointing out the hypocrisy, being friends with Hassan, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And his video has more dislikes than likes now.
Oh,
alrighty,
yeah.
subscribe
Deserved.
for 700K. Legend says that if you watch every episode of the series, Ludwig grows.
Bro got bullied by the woke mob because all Baby No Money's Twitter is just pandering to the woke mob. Baby No Money, just popular, just panders to whoever's the most popular and what viewpoints are the most agreed upon. It's so pathetic.
Grows a spine, Ian leaves Anissa, and Hassan stops supporting.
He panders to the 0.1% that are loud as fuck. That's all he does.
Terrorists. Okay, let's begin with Idubbbz being exposed.
So with the Creator Clash event, they were going to take and pocket 34%. No wonder this thing had problems. The majority of these charity events are not completely charity events. 34% of the profit is an insane piece. Like, think about this, right? You have probably over 100 people working on this event. And
every charity that I know only pockets money that was used to cover the cost of running that charity. Not enough to buy 8 Rolls Royces. That is so deceptive. That is so shitty. I knew this fucking event was scummy. And that's why I was glad when they reached out to me to join, I said, nah, fuck no, I'm good. Absolutely not. I smell bullshit from a mile away. Unless it's a woman, and then I get very easily deceived, and I'm still working on that in 2025.
And that's the pizza, right? The pizza's got to be divided between 100 people and also the fighters and everybody else, and they're taking 34% of the pizza. That's a lot of fucking pizza, guys.
So I mentioned this last video, but I find it to be completely unacceptable. I, as well as many other viewers, were under the impression that the event was mainly for charity, and that when you buy a ticket, that money is going to charity. But actually, it was going to Idubbbz's greedy pockets.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, bro has empathy for everybody except kids with cancer. And honestly, I find it disgusting that you're multi-millionaires and still trying to make a giant profit from charity events, while also using it as a shield from any criticism. Oh, you're ruining my charity event by calling me out with all this drama. Well, turns out it's not much of a charity event if you're pocketing 1/3 of it. And the fact that they prioritize themselves over the charity is just despicable, and just not letting people even know clearly where the money is going. And it might have been in the 15th page of the terms and conditions or whatever to avoid legal liability, but absolutely nobody is reading that shit, and they know what they're doing. But anyways, Ludwig responded saying he doesn't think that Ian and Anissa scam Creator Clash, calls that the worst faith interpretation.
Oh my God. How much time do you think Ludwig spends on his hands and knees sucking Hassan's dick? There is no way bro is this fucking dumb. There's no way. How the fuck is that bad faith? Brother, every $3 that gets donated, they take one. Although I'm not gonna be surprised that Ludwig is confused at the thought of greed when bro is the guy who invented the subathon, which, by the way, I've done 3 of. I've done 3, and I knew, goddamn, I'm getting paid way too much for doing fucking nothing. Not really gonna be surprised here by old Ludbud.
Funding it through various sponsorships, but mostly ticket sales and.
So it was a scam?
Yes.
I feel like that has to be like the worst faith interpretation. I think
that's not an interpretation. That's a fact, brother. What are we on about? I mean, good Lord, how do these content creators have careers when they're this dumb handling controversy?
If an event is successful and raises $1.3 million for charity on their first go around, their big plan isn't like, oh my God, and this next time we run it, we're going to make, you know, money for ourselves. Now that we've raised $1.3 million for charity, now we get to make some money of our own.
No, because we're not stupid, and we understand that when these big businesses run the charity event and they make money for charity, not only are Ian and Anissa pocketing 34%, then they're going to write off the amount of proceeds they gained to get more money off their fucking taxes. So they're double dipping. Not only are they getting a tax write-off, they're also getting money in their fucking pockets. It's greedy as shit.
You would just take the 1.3 mil on the first go around. Like 1.3 mil is a lot of money, bro. That's hella bread. So I feel like you're just not, if you're looking at it in a vacuum, yeah, I think you could call that a scam, but you're ignoring the context of the first one that was hella successful.
Running right now.
Is money paid not towards charity until event costs are paid? Yeah, but presumably. Because where else is the money coming from? And I guess, do you guys consider that a scam? Because to me, that makes sense. That's how it should operate.
Okay, now I understand why Ludwig quit commentary. He probably has the worst takes on planet Earth. First off,
it is a blessing that he stopped Mogul Mail. Holy shit, how do you have this bad of an interpretation on what is happening? That is insane, brother. Maybe we go back to Mario speedruns.
why do you bring up the first event and not the last event that lost $250,000 for charity? The thing is, I don't care if you raised $1 million the first time. That's like saying, guys, I did a good thing one time. Why would I ever do anything bad now? Look, guys, I donated to charity once before. Why would I ever scam you now? This is completely stupid logic. And in my opinion, 1 million is very less with the amount of huge creators that they actually had. Their business plan completely sucked because with that many creators of that level, you can literally live stream on your ass and raise way more money. You don't even need a big event. In fact, you want to know the truth? They probably could have raised way more $1 million if they didn't just throw this useless, expensive event and throw a bunch of random parties and dog shit like that.
Yeah, they threw this useless fucking event and they threw useless fucking parties and they were burning money on the most bourgeois lifestyle possible. And then saying, well, even though we actually made like 15, we only donated $1 million, but we still donated the $1 million. It's like, yeah, but you could have donated 10 times that amount and actually helped kids with fucking cancer who actually need it. So what are we doing here? When I raised, what, 65 grand for Ukraine, I didn't take any of that shit. And also, I also didn't use that to do a write-off of my taxes because I'm too fucking stupid to know how to do that.
Also, Ludwig unironically said, why didn't they just take the 1 million in the first event? Is he stupid on purpose or is this a disability? You can't just fucking openly take money from a charity. That kind of destroys your reputation. You gotta hide it in the fine print like a snake, kind of like Idubbbz and Anissa were doing this time. Also, there's a bunch of reasons for that. It was the first time, so they obviously didn't know how much it would make. And the second time, when
you don't have someone who does your taxes? I did it 5 years ago. I'm pretty sure my ex-wife took that and used it to write off her taxes. I didn't know how to do it. I was like, okay, yeah, do whatever you want. But that was also back when I had Genshin money. And that shit was pouring in, and I just assumed that I was going to be a billionaire for the rest of my life. And then I got the cold, bittering reality, and now I'm a functioning member of society. But, hey, you got to understand, I was the dumbass who played Genshin back in the day. It is what it is.
When they had a loss, they also realized that, oh, we got to make sure only the charity.
To be fair, even 4 weeks ago, I thought it'd be gay to use a bidet, but now it's my favorite thing ever. So, you know, we're currently learning from our mistakes, guys.
takes the hit and we get that guaranteed amount of money, right? The problem is transparency. They are secretly taking a cut without actually being open about it.
Yep.
And it's also wrong to call this like a full-fledged charity event because it's kind of like a side thing. It's an event so that multimillionaires can make even more money, and charity is like a side thing that they're using to promote it.
True.
Also, I just find it interesting. Ludwig will never talk about any drama. He specifically quit drama so that he wouldn't get into any controversy, right? Because Hassan is obviously being absolutely torched right now, and people are going to ask him to cover it, and he doesn't want to talk about his Lord and Savior, the guy whose pee-pee is in his mouth, Hassan, right?
Is that not fucking insane? I'm gonna quit doing what I want to do because I'm afraid of my friend yelling at me. Yeah, what a great friend, dude.
Actually find more backbone at a jellyfish convention. I just find it interesting.
Classic SpongeBob.
He chose to talk about this specifically. But anyways, after this, he talks about how charity is a business, and he gives like the dumbest example ever for it.
Okay.
I feel like people get real bad faith or virtue signally when it comes to charity stuff. Yeah, maybe grandstanding. I don't know the exact word.
Sure.
But I feel like when
Try your
charity, like
best.
the word charity is hit, people are like, heavens. And everyone acts like every act of charity needs to be some higher than thou act that is selfless. And maybe I'm cynical, but I think that's dumb. And I think charities also understand that that's dumb. And most incredibly successful charities understand that it's a business and things need to be able to operate not just one time, but consistently many times. And the only way to do that is if it doesn't burn a bunch of money along the way. So if you're doing an annual event, but you lose $100,000 doing it, even if you raise $50 million for charity, you can't do that forever because you're losing money. Money has to come from somewhere.
Oh my God, Ludwig.
This is a multi-millionaire's business perspective on charity when, yes, it is supposed to be this holier than thou noble cause. But the problem is a lot of people pretend that they give a fuck to just use it as a business. And Ludwig, you just self-reported that you were one of those fucking people. It's very obvious. I've been calling out fake motherfuckers for not giving a fuck about charity at all and using it to their advantage for years. And Ludwig, you just expose yourself as being one of those fucking people, just like all those VTubers that do the exact same shit.
If a charity event raises $50 million and Idubbbz takes 100K, and most importantly, he tells everybody, I'm taking 100K, not a single soul is going to complain about that. Nobody will care because 100K is nothing compared to $50 million. You know what is a significant amount? 34% going to Idubbbz and Anissa, and then there's another like 20% going to the fighters and whatever, and then the amount going to charity ends up being much less than the people thought. 34% is a very big amount to not be perfectly clear about. Also, what a
Yeah, there's a big difference between saying this money's going to charity versus, so 34% of this is going into our multi-million-dollar yacht fund, and then 20% is covering expense of the employees, and then 10% is being paid for revenue, but 30% is going to charity. Yeah, I guarantee you people really aren't going to give nearly as much if they know the actual ratios.
a horrible example. If you raise 50 million in 1 year, that is absolutely amazing. And
Here, guys, I'm going to do you a favor. 90% of content creators who seem like they're good boys are usually the worst people of them all, and that's just the reality. Because good people in this world do not exist. They don't. It's only an image that they're upholding, and eventually it will fall. The mask eventually will fall off. The world is not good or evil like Disney wants you to think. It's a shade of gray, and it's up to you as society to determine how light or how dark that shade of gray actually is. Because being able to tell truly good and truly bad, let me help you, they don't exist.
And I don't think anybody cares if you can't do another charity event after that. Just do regular events after that. I think your job is done at that point. 50 million, you've raised more than most people do in a lifetime. Dude, I was expecting some good arguments here, but I can't expect much from a guy who's latched onto Hassan Piker's nuts. I thought Idubbbz was the only one sucking on it, but apparently Ludwig's doing a 2-for-1 special here. And may I remind everyone, if you didn't know, Ludwig has a commentary channel called Mogul Mail, where he made a video calling out Hassan, right, for the most brain-dead take. He said streaming is like harder or like more mentally draining than a 9-to-5, and then he got a lot of backlash for like the dumbest out-of-touch take ever. And then Ludwig commented on that, you know, as you do as a commentary channel. And then Hassan saw his video with the most lukewarm, mild, middle-of-the-road take and got mad about it. And then Ludwig deleted it because he's a spineless piece of shit. And then he re-recorded it, and then he re-uploaded it, and he pretended that nothing had changed. Pretended it was like the same video. But everybody in the comments immediately knew, okay, this guy just changed he changed his entire opinion just to appease Hassan.
Yes.
Welcome to California. Hey, welcome to LA, where you have a collection of every fake-ass motherfucker in one city. Man, that is so fun. Woo! Man, I love LA.
A real job can be gruesome. A real job can make you very tired, but a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
As a streamer myself,
Listen, guys, I'll be real. I know you guys are making this about Mizkif. I will say this. Miz should not have gone to LA. He should have gone to New York City. That would have been hype. Yeah, that's just my opinion, though. It's cool that he's moving in with Austin, but Miz should have gone to New York. He needs a truly fresh start. Like, if he really wants to get a fucking lasso on his fucking mental health right now, he needs to get the fuck away from all that bullshit. Straight up. Should have fucking gone to Jersey, should have gone to New York.
For almost 6 years now on how hard it really is. I'm kidding. I just
Oh God. It's just literally using someone who you're friends with, like being maliciously clipped out of context to be like, I'm actually one of the good content creators. It doesn't fucking matter that he showed the context. It's just a way to just literally farm off the fucking drama.
You should call Hassan and apologize. Why is Hassan mad? What did I do? Because my Mogul Mail? I feel like everything I said was fine. Oh, well, I mean, that's the deal. I'll just pull him out of the thumbnail, and then I feel like it doesn't
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter if everything's fine, Ludwig. Also, by the way, you look like a bitch right now. You look like a bitch where you have a homie that will not let you hold accountable for your own misdeeds. You were trying to call out your homie, hold him accountable. And he says, fuck no, you're not allowed to do that. Bro, you aren't his friend, you're his dog. Why the fuck would you want to hold on to friendships like that, bro? You look like the Terminator just showed up at your fucking door. Jesus, man.
really matter much, right?
And so Ludwig didn't just change the thumbnail like he said he might do. He took down the entire original video and remade it. He then...
Who is this? Is this Turkey Tom? That is Turkey Tom? Okay, great. Yeah, he's been great to me. I've never seen his actual face. I've only heard his voice before.
Lied and said the real reason was because the video was not performing well.
Because I took the video down. And the reason I took it down is because we had a great sponsor on it. But the great sponsor wasn't getting great views.
And in this new video, he defends Hassan for that previous cringe clip, like, ad nauseum.
Now, let's get the full context of what he's saying there. Because at the surface level, that sentence, a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you.
Like, that was the most embarrassing thing ever. And honestly, like, Ludwig calling anybody else a virtue signaler is crazy, bro. Anyways, Asmongold responded.
You would just take the 1.3
Well,
million.
no, because it was a separate, there were two separate funds, right? And so, like, the fund that they make for profit and the fund that they raise for charity, these are separate funds, and Ian even confirmed that.
1.3 mil is a lot of money, bro. That's hella bread.
Not really, not for a big event like that. I mean, whenever you have a huge event like that and you have 100 people on payroll and you have tons of creators, only making $1.3 million isn't enough money. Like, you could have done 50 other things that would have made way more money than that. I mean, honestly, like, that's the truth. And anybody who knows business knows that. I mean,
you're ignoring the context of the first one, though.
I mean, if I alone can raise 65 grand for Ukraine, just streaming from a desktop, imagine getting every single content creator, 20 of the biggest names in content creation, getting them to train for 6 months, renting out an arena, getting a crowd where you have to pay for tickets, and all you make is 1.3 mil. That's a fucking flop, brother. That's a flop.
Was hella successful.
Well, but isn't this also ignoring the context of the second one that was hella unsuccessful? Why is it that you're doing a third one if the second one didn't make any money?
And I guess, do you guys consider that a scam?
Yes. It's misleading. If you tell people that their money is going towards a charity, you should have a separate fund where money is raised from a charity that is separate from the event costs. You effectively took all of these people's time and you misused it because you didn't allocate the money in a way that they thought that their time was being spent allocating the money towards. If people are buying something and they think their money is going to something, and then it doesn't at least mostly go to that, if they had known that their money would not go to these charities and it would go completely to paying off the event first.
You know what they would have done? They would have just donated their money straight to fucking charity because that's the cause they want to support. Not Ian and Anissa's OnlyFans Cuckfest Fiesta 3000 on their new yacht.
Would they have still bought the tickets? I think less people would buy tickets.
Okay, that's a good point. If people knew that their money isn't directly going to charity, less people would buy tickets. In my opinion, that is the scam. When you call it a charity event, when people buy a ticket, they think that that money is going to charity, but instead it's going to Idubbbz and Anissa. It's just not a good faith thing to do.
You really do have to look at the fine print. The fine print doesn't matter to me because the reason why it's in the fine print is because they don't want people to read it. That's why it's so small.
Yep.
So if the fine...
Hey guys, how many of y'all have ever read a EULA? None. There's not a single soul in here that has ever read a EULA. Never. End user license agreement. None of y'all. And you never will because it's designed to not be read. You assume that it is boilerplate. That is the standard procedure agreement. No one would expect 34% goes to Anissa and Ian. Nobody would have expected that.
If your general message communicates one idea and the fine print contextualizes that idea and diminishes it, you are actively, again, working to mislead people.
Need to be able to operate not just one time, but consistently.
Yeah, but the problem is that if your business, here's the thing, right? Is that if your charity is a charity is a business first and a charity second, and people find out about that, don't be surprised when less people want to donate.
True.
And the issue is that their business model wasn't effective. And then because of their ineffective business model, they decided to put in a clause that allowed them to keep making money, even if their business model didn't deliver in the way that it was supposed to, because that's what happened last time. So they basically knew that the event might not make money because that's what happened in Creator Clash 2. And so they locked in and secured money for themselves for Creator Clash 3.
Yep, that is exactly it. They wanted to make sure that any losses are the charity's losses and not theirs.
Yep.
Which, in my opinion, is the scummiest shit ever. Also, it's coming from Mr. Empathy and Mrs. Soul-Sucking Dementor here. I don't know why these goddamn multi-millionaires are so obsessed with making more money. How much is enough, you greedy mother flippers? And then people like Ludwig are like, well, actually, it's about sustainability. Like, bro, don't give me that bullshit. You guys have so much money. Like, you have so much money to put on several events without so much as touching your bank account. Like, you guys just don't know. You have no idea how rich these people actually are. And if you knew the amount of money they were making, and you see them like penny pinching over this type of shit, you would lose your mind. Like, whatever you think they make.
Guys, I want to really just pull back the curtain for you. These people will make $1.5 to $2 million a month and then say, I can't believe I didn't make $3 million this month. That's where these people are at. Like, do you guys understand how much fucking money Ludwig's first subathon made? Because if you did, I want to remind you, I did a subathon where it was 1 sub for 2 minutes. Ludwig had, at a point, 1 sub for 5 seconds. And I made $600,000 off of my 42-day-long subathon. All right? I want you to understand how much money these fucking people have and why you should not feel sympathy for them whatsoever.
Make, multiply it by like 5 to 10. My charity.
And that's including me. Like, I'll be real. My net worth is probably like $3.3 million. To be completely fucking reasonable. Nobody here should ever feel bad for my money. I'm going to be okay, right? I have like a fraction of what these other people have. But even still, if I can find happiness with what I have, because it's very easy. I mean, I'll be real. I spend barely any of it these days because like I already got rid of my maids and now I cook all my own food with Sophia. These people are upset unless they can drive a new Rolls Royce every single time they have to go to somebody else's house to fucking collab. It's a joke, guys. It really is.
The event needs to break even, guys, or I can't do it again. Like, then just put on a regular event and go make money like a greedy piece of shit you are, okay? Stop crying and pretending it's for charity. It is for your wallet, your views, and your PR, okay? Charity is a side thing for you guys. And the funniest thing about these charity events, who the heck is donating the money? It is your viewers who are working a 9 to 5.
Are we really condemning a guy who doesn't want to lose money? No, we're condemning a guy who said, hey, I'm doing this event for charity. And then in the fine print put, but I'm going to take 34%. That's what we're condemning. Because people were deceived to think that all this money went to charity. Not Ian and Anis's cuckfest. Have some media comprehension, man. You can do it. Try really hard. I want you to really think.
It's just hilarious. The money is raised by people working paycheck to paycheck, and the multimillionaires are out here complaining like, I don't make enough money to do another event. Like, and the thing is, even if you don't break even, right, you take a loss in the event, you get more viewers and more attention in the long run, okay? And then you end up making that money back anyways, right? So the fact that they want an immediate profit as well is just ridiculous to me. It was Idubbbz and Aniso scumbags, and
it's like a Mrs. Ironforge Gym, and commends to them. I don't think they've made any money at all. They're all reinvesting, right? It's a long-term thing. Expecting instant money is a fucking horrible business proposition or horrible business mindset to have. Like, the majority of big ideas don't make money at the beginning. You have to have patience and you have to work towards it. This instant gratification is such a privileged take, and I wouldn't expect that. I wouldn't expect anything less from a Hassan orbiter to have a privileged ass take. Oh man, the soldiers. They all deserve PTSD. Go fuck yourself.
Ludwig is stupid for defending this. Now, somebody pointed out Anisa's tweets on Reddit. Anisa stated that they took no salary for Creator Clash. Then what the frick is the 34%? No, I have enough money to realize no one needs more than what I have, and I'm perfectly okay with the rest going to others to enjoy safety and comfort. It's people who don't stop where me and Ian are the problem. This is what causes scarcity. Me and Ian aren't rolling. No way she had like my take of like, oh, multi-millionaires trying to make even more money and screwing over a charity event is bad. Wow. Me and Ian aren't rolling in money. We didn't take a salary on our year-long charity project because we don't need to have excess. Others can and should have it. It does us no good. good. Now, I guess they were referring to the previous creator clash or whatever, and their views changed or something like that. But I just find it funny, like these hypocritical tweets that come out like, oh, we shouldn't earn any more money. We're already rich enough. And then it's like, oh, I'm taking 34%. Like, oh, shut up. Also, you guys have like forever tainted charity events now. Now everybody's going to be like super hypercritical of any charity event going on and, you know, annoy the hell out of the people organizing it, even if they have like good intentions. Anyways, Ethan responded on Instagram.
Really made me mad about boxing events in the past is that it's rich assholes betting their money to make money to like have people that are struggling to like make ends meet and pay rent watch them do it, and then they'll go home and like have a lot of money.
And the fighters are exploited too, like
Yes.
usually.
I think what really made me mad about boxing events in the past is that it's rich assholes betting their money to make money.
Wow, it's rich a-holes exploiting people.
Isn't that ironic?
Wow, who would do that? Guys, I am loving this series so much. Everything I ever thought in my head completely turned out to be correct.
Yep.
I should be a goddamn future teller. The amount of hypocrisy by all three of these people is just insane. Now, Harley, one of the main fighters who pulled out.
Love this dude. Is this not Hassan's background, but reskinned as Harley? Is this not Hassan's background, like a 1-for-1? I feel like I'm tripping balls right now.
Also responded, talking about it was weird how the new Creator Clash owners exposed Anissa and Idubbbz.
So that's not outlandish, but I thought it was pretty crazy the Creator Clash shared it. Made me feel like maybe they got maybe there's bad blood going on.
That was
there or something.
1,000% a sneak diss. There is no other way to interpret that. They knew it was going to cause a shitstorm. They went completely out of their way to mention it. Here, let me pull it up.
That's a really hard question.
Shut up. God, I hate her.
I know someone's going to make money, obviously, but because of all the bad vibes around the event, they have to kind of explain more things and be transparent about more things. So I'm just curious, like, how much does Aaron make from Creator Clash 3?
Sure, yeah, I think that's a totally fair. I think you're right. I think full transparency here is needed. Frankly,
Absolutely.
I'm surprised that they even want to fucking do this. I feel like there's no chance in hell this succeeds.
I think a lot of people are going to ask questions, and we kind of need to know exactly how much each person is making now, exactly how much is going to charity. And I can't believe I have to say this, but if you have nothing to hide, just tell people. It's not that hard. And as I said, this event is completely failing unless like Markiplier or Jacksepticeye gets involved. That's the only way to turn this around. They literally like command small countries, so they can do live streams and raise a shit ton of money and get a lot of attention. But unless they're in, yeah, congrats on the failure of this event. And I love how all this started because Idubbbz decided to make the content cop. Moving on to BB No Money, Hassan, and Asmongold drama. BB No Money censored Asmongold in his latest music video featuring OTK. At the time of recording,
Baby No Backbone.
I was unaware of a certain individual's ethical beliefs. As a result, I've chosen to censor whose values I do not support. And basically throughout this music video, Asmongold is censored with like this lizard or whatever. Now, BB No Money also tweeted out, spread love and positivity. And then here we have this picture of him just chilling with his son on stream. I just find it crazy that
Spread love and positivity, as long as spreading love and positivity means just hopping on to every single trend that the 0.1% mentally ill are perpetuating on Twitter and removing people over false understandings of what has actually happened and vilifying people who actually haven't done anything wrong while actually hanging out with the evil people. Yep, that makes sense to me, Baby No Money.
people feel pressured to distance themselves from Asmongold. Meanwhile, supporting Hassan, who is an open terrorist supporting freak. Spread love and positivity, guys. Also, just a bit of lore here. BB No Money said his favorite streamer was Asmongold and literally got his face put on his chest. So I don't know, selling out your friend like this is just not cool. I feel like people are so spineless these days, man. I kind of understand why he did it. He wanted his music video to do well, but
It would have been fucking fine if they kept Asmongold uncensored. It would have had like 3% dislikes. Legit. He's the literal one of the top most searched persons on YouTube. These people telling you that Asmongold is a horrible fucking person don't understand that he legit, and I'm going to just be real. I know what, because I talk to people about this, because I always try to understand what they think. Both of the things that they're upset, and this is why people are upset at Asmongold, both the things of why people say Asmongold's a horrible person is because he said two things. It was the inferior culture comment, and then it was the there's a 99% chance that the Holocaust happened comment. Both of these he's apologized for. Both of these he realized he was way out of line for saying. And both of these he completely has attempted to atone for, took time off to reflect, and has not made a comment like that in any stretch of the imagination. This is why people are angry at him. He's already done enough. Legit. He's already done enough. And my issue is, if you're going to hold Asmongold for things that he said nearly at this point years ago, if not more than half a year ago, where he apologized for and he attempted to atone for, why are you cool with Hassan actively radicalizing his viewers and calling for the death of a U.S. senator. Why are you cool with that? Things that he never apologized for, that he's doubled down, triple down, and then acted like he was a victim for people coming at him for. Genuine question. It makes no fucking sense intentionally because it makes no fucking sense.
It's the Streisand effect 101. Everyone now knows about it. Everyone is mad about it. His video has more dislikes than likes now. It's just sad. Now, Asmongold responded in like the most gracious way ever.
I don't have any.
As he often does. Asmongold is often too forgiving to a fault.
There's no ill will or.
But I respect the fuck out of a person who can live a lifestyle like this. I would be a very angry man right now.
Any sort of like negativity about it. I just think that he doesn't want to be involved with my politics, and it was like from kind of a long time ago. And so yeah, Lambo, I don't know. I think that in most of the cases, people don't want to be heavy involved with like politics one way or another, right? Honestly, I felt bad about this whole situation because like, you know, we recorded the video, everybody came out, and they weren't sure if they were going to use the video or not. Because like I would feel bad about wasting his time and everybody else's time if like they feel like it's going to make them look bad or whatever. I like Baby No Money. I don't have any ill will towards him. I thought he's a great guy. I've talked to him multiple times. If he doesn't want to promote the kind of content that I do in my videos, that's his professional decision and that's his career. I'm not going to expect people to put their career on the line.
Wow, what a horrible guy, man. Giving him complete grace and forgiveness, even though he basically just backstabbed him here. Now, the funniest thing is, if people just saw Asmin in that video, they wouldn't actually care because he's not as extreme as like Hassan, a terrorist supporter, right?
People try so hard to pretend that Asmongold is this horrific human being. It's like so fucking dumb. Like, don't get me wrong, guys. I understand that he's edgy, but he's not the fucking antichrist that people pretend he is. It's just so embarrassing. And it's honestly just, it says a lot about our society that people have ran with this narrative for so fucking long. It's the same thing with me, guys. I want to remind you that I got shit for 3 years being told that I was the worst human being in human history because I didn't like Genshin Impact and I misgendered Venti, an anime character. Do you guys remember that? When I got a Reddit hate thread with 35,000 upvotes, and I was being lambasted on Twitter because Tawano made a post that set forth a chain reaction on my fucking career over, I shit you not, I want you to read this, March 17th, 2021. Okay, hold on. I did not know Tectone misgendered Venti. I was not there for that part of the stream. Oh my God. That set forth a ripple effect fucking me over because I misgendered a fucking video game character. Who, by the way, looks like a fucking chick. My bad, guys. I said, wow, she's so beautiful. Like, so I'm either transphobic or I'm gay. Or here's an idea. Japan's just fucking weird for making characters look that hot while they're dudes.
Right? Where you will be questioned for even supporting him or being associated with him. So by censoring Asmin, he actually just brought more attention to it and basically made a political statement. Yeah. Anyways, Tectone also responded.
Like, this baby no backbone shit is insane. And I know he did this shit to avoid the heat from the woke mob. Well, congratulations. This is what happens when you pander to these people. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna virtue signal and you're gonna moral grandstand and you're gonna appeal to this mob and appeal to this mob and appeal to this mob. And the moment that you slip up one time, the same mob that you're pandering to is going to fucking consume you. And you wanna know why he did this? It's because of this. How is brother gonna say that I don't like this guy's political views and then hang out with the most radicalized streamer on the entire fucking platform? Hassan has not apologized for calling for the death of a fucking senator, calling Asmongold a mother killer, calling many content creators pedophiles and rapists. Nobody received an apology and everybody moved on. How do people in this world not be miserable with these lame motherfuckers that take up our whole society? Everybody's a pussy these days. Everybody's a bitch. It's a competition for who can get offended the most by the least inflammatory statements. You are punished for being an honest man in 2025. You are not allowed to speak your mind, and all these people who you deem as good people are fraudulent because the only thing that you know is the illusion they put up to their stream, to their content.
I mean, this is completely true. I think the reason, like,
I don't know who the fuck that guy is, but somebody sucked that guy's dick. You want to know why I should listen to that guy? Because everybody tells me I shouldn't. And it's really that easy.
Like slop tubers even are so popular is because we actually say what everybody's actually thinking, right? Because people are so afraid to say anything because everybody's so concerned with climbing the social ladder or concerned with what will people think about me? Nobody's gonna be my friend. What is everyone gonna say? What if they don't like me? Like, you know what I say? you. I don't really care if you don't like me. I like me, and that's all that matters. You know, I like my morals and my values. If you don't agree with that, get the hell out. I don't care. I'm not here to have 100% of people like me. I'll just stick with my own crew over here. And I just want to give my opinion, say what I think, and not actually bend to anybody and turn into Jellyfish Ludwig. Now click this video or you become an
Well, I'll be doing a collab with Ludwig later at Weenie Hut General. Like, comment, subscribe. More Pegasus. You are my god. You are my goat. Amazing fucking video, brother. Everybody go subscribe to More Pegasus. Insane creator.